Hi, welcome to Driving TV, and I hope you are well. In this video, I like to share with you some tips on parking or maneuver. There are 4 parkings you need to learn or maneuvers you need to learn, and in the test you will get 1 for you to carry out in the test. So in this video, I like to share with you few of the things that you should bear in mind when you are doing the parking or when you are doing the maneuvers in the test, because these are the reasons many learners they fail the test on, which I'm going to cover in this video. Let's start the lesson. So firstly, there are 4 parkings or maneuvers you need to learn, and out of the 4 you will get 1 in the test. What are they? These are parallel parking, which is you stop alongside of a car and then you reverse behind that car. That's 1. The other one is to stop on the right hand side, reverse to a car and then move off. And there are 2 in the bay parking, which is 1 to go forward into a bay, reverse out, and the other one is to reverse into a bay and then forward out. So these are the 4 you need to learn, and out of those 4 you will get 1 in the test. So let's talk about few things which the learners needs to bear in mind when they are doing the parking or when they are doing the maneuvers in the test. Number 1 is the control of your car. Depending on the car that you are driving you driving an automatic or are you driving a manual? Especially if you are driving a manual, what kind of control do you need to do the maneuver or the parking? And the reason I say what kind is because the place you need to do the maneuver, it could be on a slightly hill. It might not be a level road. So in that road, do you know how to do the hill start? Or do you know how to do the clutch control? Because for you to move the car, whether you're going forward or backward, you need to move according to the way the road is. If the road is level, control the car with the clutch. If it's on a hill, control the car with the clutch. If it's downhill, you need to control the car with the brake. So number 1 is to control. Make sure you know what kind of control you need and you understand what kind of road you are doing the parking on, so that you know what kind of control you need to do, especially if you are driving a manual car. Make sure the speed is low, it's not too high, and it's not too low that the car is not even moving and you're taking too long for you to do the maneuver. Okay, so you need to balance it between being too low and not too fast. Number 2 is the observations. And this is where many learners they fail the test on, because the observation is weak when they are doing the parking or the maneuver. Okay, so when you are doing the parking or the maneuver, you have to understand that there are other people or other cars or other vehicles on the road which they need to use when you are doing the parking. So when you are doing, for example, a parallel parking, you will start when there is nobody there, but then when you are doing the parking, there could be somebody coming. Are you missing? Are you looking all around? If there are somebody coming, do you know what to do? So if there is a car coming while you are doing the parking, you should stop and wait for them and see what they do. If they go around, you wait until they go. When they've gone, you need to look all around again, look at the blind spot, carry on going. If they stop for you, you carry on going until they start to go again, then you stop again, let them go, and then you carry on going. If there is a car going around, make sure you stop for them, let them go. When they've gone, look around again, look at the blind spot and start going. Always start the maneuver by looking all around, including your blind spot, and then start doing the maneuver or the parking. Once you have started, like I said, make sure you keep looking to see if there are cars coming. Because if there are, you'll have to wait and stop for them to go. When they've gone, you carry on. If they wait, you carry on going, but keep looking, because if they start to go again while you are doing the parking, you have to wait and let them go. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, where should you be looking? So for example, if you are doing a parallel parking or you are doing a bay parking and you are reversing, many learners, they don't look at the back mainly. Remember, when the car is going back, you have to look at the back mainly, because that's the way the car is going. Many learners, they don't look or stay at the back when they are looking. Okay, so if I were you, when you're reversing on a maneuver, I would position myself slightly towards that way so that I could use my feet as well as I could keep looking, because if you are there, you can't really see what's at the back. So position yourself slightly towards that way. So then you could have both hands on the wheel, keep your feet, so you could control the car with your feet, and you look at the back. You look at the back mainly, you stay, and every now and again you look all around and you go back, and then you look all around and then you go back. Many learners, what they do is they look and then they're looking here like that mostly, and they're not looking mainly at the back. Remember, if the car is going back or you're reversing, then that means this becomes the front of your car, because that's the way the car is going. You should be looking this way mainly. Okay, so if the car is reversing, when you're reversing the car, your front becomes there, so that's where you should be looking mainly. Okay, and every now and again look around, every now and again look around. So that's why you do. If you're reversing, look at the back mainly. In regards to your hands, when you're reversing, do I have to have both hands on the wheel? No, you don't have to, as long as you're not steering with one hand. So if the car is going straight, you could have one hand on the top and you could have the other hand on your lap, and you could reverse. But when you're reversing and you need to do the steering, you must have both hands on the wheel. You shouldn't be steering with one hand. Okay, so let me repeat. Can I have one hand on the wheel? Yes, you can, as long as the car is going straight and you're not steering. If you need to steer, both hands on the wheel. Okay, can I adjust my mirrors if I need to see the pavement or the curve? Yes, you can adjust when you are doing the reversing or the parking or the maneuver, but make sure at the end you adjust back where it was before you move off. This is what the problem is for many learners, that they do adjust just before they need to do the parking, and then they forget to put it back on where it was. So if I were you, try to adjust in a way so that you could see the side as well as the pavement enough for you to do the parking in the beginning of your lesson or in the beginning of your test. That way, when you are doing the parking or the maneuver, you don't have to adjust and then forget putting the mirrors back on before you move off again. And one other thing regards to observation is that every time you stop for something, so say you are doing the parallel parking, and as you are doing there is a car coming, so you stop for that car, and then when the car goes, before you go again, don't just go, make sure you look all around again, full circle before you start to go again. Many learners, they forget to do that. Okay, so when you stop for something, before you go again, look full circle, including the blind spot, and then you start to go. Okay, and the next one I would say is the position. The examiner will be looking for the position of your car when you are doing the parking or the maneuver. Okay, so for example, if you are doing the bay parking, the examiner will expect you to go into the bay in between two lines. Okay, if you are doing the parallel parking, the examiner is expecting you to finish it close to the pavement, not touching it or not too far from the pavement. Okay, now the question is, what if I am not in the bay or I'm too far from the pavement on the parallel parking? What do I do then? Remember to correct. Okay, so in the bay or in the parallel parking, if you're not happy with the position, maybe you are too far from the pavement or the car is not in the bay when you've done the bay parking, make sure you adjust either to go forward if you just reversed in, or if you went forward into a bay, make sure you reverse out and then go in again and you correct. So in any parking or any maneuver, if you think you're not happy with the position, make sure you correct so that it is done according to the way it should be done. So for example, just say you are doing a parallel parking and you are going in to the pavement. If you think that you are too far from the pavement, then you could go forward again. Don't go all the way, just go forward, reverse in to correct. In the bay, it's not in the bay, it's not in between two lines, or maybe it is on one side too much on the line, then go out and correct. Remember, the examiner is looking for three things when you are doing the parking or the maneuver: the control of your car, observation, and the position. So if you could remember those three, and if you are ticking your box on all those three, you have passed the test. So control, make sure the control is good and you understand what kind of control you need. Is the car on a flat road or on a hill? If it's flat, what kind of control do you need? Speed should be low, but also it shouldn't be too low that you are taking too long. So it should be low, but not too low that you are taking too long. You need to balance in between. So control of your car, then the observation. Are you looking all around constantly? Did you start off by looking all around first, including the blind spot? If you're reversing, are you looking at the back mainly? Or are you just looking and then you are looking at the front mostly, but not looking at the back? If there is a car coming, are you stopping for them? And then if they stop for you, are you carrying on going? Or are you just stopping there, not doing anything? Every time you stop before you go, are you looking all around again? And the last one is the position. You need to finish the parking correctly. So if you are doing the parallel parking, you have to finish close to the pavement and not too far from the object or the car that you are using. If you do the bay parking, make sure it's in between two lines. Look at the mirrors to see if it's within the line. If you can't see clearly within the mirrors, open the door when you finish. Before you open though, just look at the blind spot, open the door, check if it's in the bay. If it's not, close the door, look around, and then correct whether to go forward or backwards depending on which way you've done the bay parking. So make sure you go out and you correct. And one of the secret of doing the maneuver or the parking correctly in the test with full confidence is to have a plan. Make sure you have a method of how you need to do every single parking, especially the parallel parking and the bay parking. Make sure you have your reference points when to do the steering, so you have a method. And if I were you, I would memorize all those methods so that you have a plan of all the parkings you need to do, so that whichever you get in the test, it is not a problem for you because you have a plan, you have a method of how these parkings are done or the maneuvers are done. I have all the parkings and the maneuvers on my channel. If you haven't seen it already, I will leave links of those videos on the description below, and I hope the video helps. If it does, please do give a thumbs up, and please do make a comment what you think of the video. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so don't miss any of my future videos, and hope to see you again on the next video. Bye for now.